Hello, and this is Shivangi from Education Project. Today we're going to be talking about figurative language. Before we begin, I think it's important to address a few things. My information has indeed come from other sources, which will always be linked down in the description box below. Anything that is italicized and in quotations have not been written in my own words. And as I mentioned before, credit will be fully given to that particular source or person in the description box below. Another important note, please do understand that this lesson is just the start of your understanding of figurative language. This is a skill that you will use throughout your learning journey for English. So please do practice, because as they say, practice really does make perfect. And that goes for every other subject. You cannot grasp a concept unless and until you practice. So please do understand that. So you're struggling and need help with finding figurative language. Don't worry, I got you back. Let's take things step by step. Today we're going to be talking about what figurative language actually is, some examples and ways you can practice after, and some analysis. 1. What is figurative language? Figurative language is a word or phrase that doesn't have the meaning of what it is, literally. I'll read that again. Figurative language is a word or phrase that doesn't have the meaning of what it is, literally. Let's go through some examples. Metaphor vs. simile. Two of the most common figurative language examples, and the ones that are often confused for the other. So, a metaphor is a comparison between two things without the usage of like or as. Examples include, he is a shining star, or kisses are the flowers of affection. Similes are the comparison between two things with the usage of like and as. Examples include, my mother is as busy as a bee, or they fought like cats and dogs. Personification vs. zoomorphism. I love zoomorphism. Give me a ton of zoomorphism and I'm very happy. Anyway, personification is where you give human-like qualities to non-human things. Examples include, the wind howled, or the sun smiled down upon us. Zoomorphism. Zoomorphism is where you give animal-like qualities to non-animal things, humans, or events. For example, she was barking up the wrong tree by questioning him, or the trade ruffled up some feathers in the company. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia are sound words that describe something happening. Examples include, the water splashed all over the top of the car. My stomach grumbled in hunger as we entered the restaurant. Some simpler types of onomatopoeia can be boom, kabam, splash. These simplistic types of onomatopoeia are usually shown in cartoons, but they really do get the message across. Oxymoron. An oxymoron is when two words of opposite ideas are used to create a description. Examples include, act naturally, bittersweet, clearly confused, alone together, or pretty ugly. Hyperbole vs. litotes. Hyperboles are phrases that overly exaggerate a particular emotion. This is done to evoke a vivid image into the reader's mind. Examples include, I am so hungry I would eat dirt right now. Or, my brother is taller than a skyscraper. Litotes, on the other hand, are phrases that make an understatement of particular situations. They are often accompanied sarcastic and are accompanied with a double negative. Examples include, I can't say I disagree with what you're saying, or my dog is not the friendliest. Idiom. An idiom is a commonly used expression that has a different meaning to what is literally presented. Idioms vary from culture to culture and place to place. An example is, the children could not play baseball because it was raining cats and dogs. Alliteration vs. assonance. Alliteration is the repetition of the same constant sound at the start of one or more words near one another. It is often used to emphasize an emotion or reveal a stronger description. Examples include, the babble of babies brings joy to my ears. Or, the pitter-patter of paws echoed down the hallway and woke me from my slumber. Assonance is the repetition of the same or similar vowels in words or phrases. Examples include, she seems to beam rays of sunshine with her eyes of green, or there's some creeps who wouldn't meet if you paid me a heap of cash. Allusion. An allusion is a reference to a well-known place, person, thing, or event of historical, cultural, or literary merit. It requires the audience to use their background knowledge to understand the meaning. Examples include, you stole the forbidden fruit when you took his candy. Or, he didn't do anything as bad as chopping down a cherry tree. Now we've gone through some examples. Obviously, I can't possibly include 50 billion figurative languages onto one presentation. We all know humans have the attention span of an ant. So I included some of them. If you want to check out more, go ahead. I'm sure there are more resources out there. But as I was talking before, practice does make perfect. So we have a Quizlet that is shown right here. Please do note that this requires a Google account. So if you are younger, require the permission from your parents or your guardian. And below there are 2 other YouTube videos that I have listed so that you can, get a better grasp or a firmer grasp of figurative language. Obviously, these will be in the description box below to help or be of convenience to you. Alright, now to the favorite part of mine, analysis practice. Today we're going to be focusing on a poem and an extract from Wind in the Willows. Dulce et decorum est. My favorite poem, by the way, so I hope you like this stanza. Let's read it out. Gas, gas, quick boys, an ecstasy of fumbling. Fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime, dim through the misty panes and thick green lights, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I bloody love this poem. Alright, so let's go to the first highlight. Gas, Gas, quick boys. This is onomatopoeia and gives the audience a sense of urgency. Righty, now this is a simile, which again showcases the state of emergency and urgency they are in. This line is a metaphor because it is comparing the gas to a sea, and a sea is usually dangerous, so portraying the gas as dangerous. With this poem, it is worth noting the contextual background. It is a World War I poem, and Wilfred Owen is best known to despise or not appreciate war. I just thought I should add that because his writing is mainly based on that. Alrighty, let's read The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. The mole had been working very hard all morning, spring cleaning his little home. First with brooms, then with dusters, then on ladders and steps and chairs, with a brush and a pail of whitewash, till he had dust in his throat and eyes, and splashes of whitewash all over his fur, and an aching back and weary arms. Spring was moving in the air above and in the earth below and around him, penetrating even his dark and lowly little house with its spirit of divine discontent and longing. It was a small wonder, then, that he suddenly flung down his brush on the floor, said, "Brother," and "Oh, blow," and also "Hang spring cleaning," and bolted out of the house without even waiting to put on his coat. Something up above was calling him imperiously, and he made for the steep little tunnel which answered in his case to the gravelled carriage down drive owned by animals whose residences are nearer to the sun and air. So he scraped and scratched and scrabbled and scrooged, and then he scrooged again and scrabbled and scratched and scraped, working busily with his little paws and muttering to himself, up we go, till at last, pop, his snout came out into the sunlight, and he found himself rolling in the warm grass of a great meadow. Wasn't that lovely? Alrighty, now let's go to this line. This is personification, which, paints a really good image into our minds. And also, it is personification because we all know spring doesn't really move. Spring isn't a person. So, hence personification. It isn't zoomorphism because remember, zoomorphism is when we give animal-like characteristics, but in this case we are giving human-like characteristics. Now let's move on to this line. So this is alliteration, the repetition of sk. So scraped, scratched, and scrabbled and scrooched gives us the impression that his task took a lot of effort. And last but not least, this slight pop, which is of course onomatopoeia, and gives a triumphant impression that the task has finally been accomplished. If you want to continue reading some of these stories, please do click on these links. As always, they will be in the description box below. Personally, I love Dolce et Decorum Est, so let me know down below how you feel about the poem. If you guys want, I can make a video on Dolce et Decorum Est and we can go through the whole poem, annotating and doing some contextual background research. You let me know. But anyway, let's move on. So this is my bibliography, which will also be down below in case you want to check the websites out. Thank you to the creators for creating these. You really, really did help me out. again, credit goes to SlidesGo, Flaticon, and FreePic for this incredible presentation that they've made. And I think that's all I have to credit to. Alrighty then, thank you for joining us, and please let us know if you have any questions or feedback on how we should improve. Until next time, I'll see you later. Please do like, share, subscribe, and click the bell notification so you know when we upload. Thank you everyone, and see you later. From all of us, Education Project.